I arrived for the family reunion I paid for. The place was empty. Mom laughed and said, "It was yesterday. We'll bring you leftovers." I said nothing. But the next morning, the police spoke for me. I should have known something was off the moment I pulled into the parking lot. No familiar cars. No noise. No cousins smoking near the dumpsters pretending no one sees them. Just silence. I checked the message again. Friday, 7 p.m., Mateos. Can't wait to see everyone. Sent by Mom. 2 weeks ago. It was Friday. 7:02 p.m. I was right on time. Like an idiot. I stepped inside, the cold air giving way to soft jazz and clinking glasses. The place wasn't empty, but the private room I had paid for? Locked. Dark. "Can I help you, sir?" the hostess asked, barely looking up. "Yeah, Thompson party? Private dining room." She scanned the list. "Oh, yeah, that was last night." I blinked. No. It was tonight. I paid the deposit. I booked it. She tilted her head. "Sir, they were here. 16 people. Big cake. Your mom brought place cards. You sure you're not confused?" I laughed. Actually laughed. One of those dry, sharp ones that dies halfway out of your mouth. "No, I'm not confused." She paused, awkward now. "Do you want to call someone?" I didn't answer her. I was already dialing. The phone rang twice before she picked up. "Hi, sweetie," Mom said, voice too light, too casual. "Everything okay?" I stared straight ahead. "Where is everybody?" A pause. Then she gave that airy little laugh she always used when she knew she'd screwed up but didn't want to admit it. "Oh, honey, it was yesterday. We thought you weren't coming. But don't worry, we'll bring you leftovers." I froze. "What?" She repeated it, like it was no big deal. "It was yesterday. We'll bring you leftovers." I didn't even say goodbye. Just hung up. No one called back. Not Mom. Not Tina. Not anyone. Then a text popped up. "Tina, LMAO bro, you seriously missed it? Classic. Don't worry. We saved you a roll." My hand was shaking. From cold. Or rage. I couldn't tell which. I looked at the hostess. They came. Ate. Left. She shrugged. Looked like they had fun. Of course they did. They always do when I'm not there. I left without saying anything else. Didn't call. Didn't yell. Didn't write in the group chat. But I didn't go home either. I sat in the car with the engine off, staring at my reflection in the windshield, thinking about the bill. The card charge. The 10 unread messages I'd sent my mom 3 days ago confirming the time. They all knew. They just didn't care. They'd made that choice together. And tomorrow? I'd make mine. You'd think getting excluded from a family dinner you paid for would be the worst part. It wasn't. It was the cherry on top of a 5-year-long garbage sundae. See, this wasn't the first time they left me out. Not even close. It was just the first time they were honest enough not to fake it. I was always the afterthought. Growing up, Tina was the bright one, the one who just needed a little help getting started. I was the one who didn't need much. That was their code for, "You survive without love, so we're not wasting any on you." When I got my first real job, I called Mom proud. She didn't say congrats. She said, "Great. Now you can finally help your sister with rent." That was the start of it. 1 month of rent turned into a year. Then bills. Then her dental surgery. Then car insurance. Then textbooks for her new nursing program, which she dropped after a semester and never refunded me for. I paid because I thought that's what you do when you love your family. But love, in my family, only flows one direction. Every time I brought it up, even gently, I got hit with. "Stop being so transactional. We're family. Tina's going through a lot. You know that. You're doing better than her. Why are you keeping score?" I wasn't keeping score. They just refused to notice I was bleeding. I remember one night, 2 years ago. I just wired $600 for Tina's emergency vet bill. Later that same day, she posted an Instagram story. New shoes, new nails, and some guy's hand wrapped around a champagne glass. I showed the story to Mom. She scrolled, smirked, and said, "You boys always get so petty about money." Petty. I paid their property taxes last winter because Dad forgot, and the county sent them a lien warning. I covered Tina's credit card minimums for 6 months when she got laid off, even though I was barely staying afloat myself. One Christmas, I maxed out my savings to get gifts for everyone. And what did I get? A framed photo of the family. I wasn't in it. But nothing compared to the night I overheard what they really thought of me. It was about 6 months ago. I was staying at my parents' house for a weekend. I had just helped Tina out of another jam. $1,200 this time because she accidentally overdrafted again. I went downstairs to grab water and heard voices in the living room. Tina, he's so obsessed with being the martyr. It's pathetic. Mom, I know. He acts like he's some kind of savior just because he pays for things. Dad, laughing. Let him pay. He's not going to find a wife anyway. Might as well be useful. I stood in the hallway, frozen. Then Tina again, voice smug. You know he thinks we'd fall apart without him? Snort. Please. If he disappeared tomorrow, I wouldn't even notice. I didn't go into the room. I went back upstairs, laid in bed, stared at the ceiling. The next morning, Mom made pancakes like nothing had happened. After that, I stopped sending money. For about 2 weeks. Then Tina texted. Tina, I need help with rent. I'll pay you back. Promise. I didn't respond. 2 days later, Mom called. Tina's behind on bills. She's in a really bad place. You know she's sensitive. Why are you being cold? I said, I just can't keep doing this. She said, if you're going to punish us for raising you, maybe we shouldn't have bothered. That broke me more than I admitted at the time. I sent the money later that day. And now, after all that, they had a family reunion without me. A dinner I paid for. A time I confirmed. And when I called Mom to ask where they were, she had the audacity to say, it was yesterday. We'll bring you leftovers. Leftovers. Like a dog. Not a son. Not a brother. Just a wallet with arms. I sat in that car outside Mateo's for a long time that night. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat in that thick, dense silence and thought about every single time I'd been the good one. And what it had cost me. Tomorrow, I wouldn't be the good one. Tomorrow, they'd learn what it feels like when I stop playing my role. And I knew exactly where I'd start. I didn't sleep that night. Not because I was sad. Not even angry, honestly. I was calculating. That dinner at Mateo's cost me $1,740 after tax and tip. 16 people. Appetizers. Custom menu. I'd even paid extra for Tina's vegan crap and Aunt Mary's wine allergy accommodations. They didn't just forget me. They knew. And they did it anyway. The next morning, I sent a message in the family group chat. Me. Let's meet at Mom's tonight. 7 p.m. I have something for you. No one asked what it was. Of course they didn't. They never asked anything when it came to me. At 6:58, I pulled into my parents' driveway. Inside, they were already gathered. Tina was on her phone. Dad was in his recliner with a beer. Mom was fluffing the couch pillows like we were hosting company. She looked up and smiled. Hi, honey. We weren't sure if you'd still be upset. I said nothing. Tina looked up, fake sympathy smeared across her face. You know we didn't do it to hurt you, she said. It was just easier for everyone to come Thursday. Most of us have lives. She said that with a straight face. I placed a big envelope on the coffee table. What's this? Mom asked. I sat down slowly, calmly, and said, it's a bill. Dad scoffed. A bill for what? For the dinner, I replied. The one you all enjoyed without me. Tina laughed. You're joking. I'm not. Mom narrowed her eyes. Are you seriously trying to make us pay you back? No, I said, leaning forward. I'm giving you the opportunity. Because from now on, anything you want from me comes with an invoice. There was silence. Then Dad sat up straighter. You need to drop this attitude, son. We're family, right? I said. Family. The same family that intentionally excluded me from a reunion I paid for. The same family that's drained me financially and emotionally for 5 years straight. Tina rolled her eyes. Oh, come on. No one made you pay. That was the moment something in me finally snapped. I stood up. You know what? Fine. Let's talk about what no one made me do. I pointed at Tina. I wasn't made to pay your rent for 2 years. Or cover your overdraft fees. Or replace your transmission. I turned to Mom. I wasn't made to cover your back taxes. Or pay for your birthday cruise when you said Dad forgot. Or pick up groceries when you suddenly couldn't walk because of your knee. Dad's face turned red. Watch it. Oh, I'm just getting started, I said, taking out a printed list from my pocket. You don't want to hear it? I do. I've had to live it. And then, the twist. I pulled out a folder and tossed it on the table. What's this now? Dad snapped. I smiled. Documentation. Of every single transaction. Every wire. Every Venmo. Every Cash App. Every receipt. Tina snorted. Wow, you really are insane. No, I said dead calm. I'm protected. Because I filed a fraud report this morning. All of this. I tapped the folder. It's already in the system. What are you talking about? Mom asked, her voice suddenly quiet. I looked her straight in the eye. Last week, I found out someone used my name to open a new credit card. The same one that paid for a new iPhone and a spa package Tina posted about, but claimed was a gift from a friend. Tina froze. I called the credit company. They're investigating it as identity theft. The address they gave them? Yours. Now she stood up. Are you kidding me? Nope, I said. And if you think I won't press charges. You wouldn't dare, Mom hissed. Try me. The room exploded. Tina screamed, You're pathetic. Dad yelled, You want to send your own sister to jail? You want me to keep playing the idiot forever? I shot back. Mom burst into tears. You're destroying this family. No, I said, stepping toward the door. I'm finally saving myself from it. And then the second twist. As I turned to leave, someone spoke for the first time. My cousin Luke. The quiet one. Barely says a word at family events. I'd like to pay my share, he said softly. Of the dinner, I mean. It's only fair. Everyone turned to him, stunned. He added, and I know I should have said something, but they did plan to exclude you. I was there when they joked about it. Said you'd be too dramatic. I'm sorry. I looked at him, and for the first time that night, I smiled. Thanks. Then I walked out. They thought they could use me forever, but they forgot one thing. Even the quiet ones eventually speak. And when we do, we don't whisper. We call the cops. The next morning, at 8:17 a.m., my phone buzzed. Private number. I picked up. Hi, is this Daniel Thompson? Yes. This is Officer Reynolds, local precinct. We're currently following up on a report of financial fraud involving a credit card opened in your name. Your family was listed at the billing address. We'll be visiting the property today for a statement. I said nothing for a moment. Then, do you need me there? No, sir. You've done your part. We'll take it from here. I hung up and sat back in silence. For once, they'd open the door and find someone they couldn't gaslight. This time, I didn't have to speak. The police did it for me. I thought silence would bring peace. Instead, it brought chaos. They say when you remove the keystone from an arch, everything collapses. I wasn't the keystone. I was the whole foundation. And the second I stepped away, the house of cards came crashing down. The police visit wasn't subtle. According to a very long, very angry voicemail from Mom, they came at 7:45 a.m., while she was still in her robe, and Dad hadn't even had his coffee yet. 2 officers. 1 male, 1 female. Politely professional. But direct. We're following up on an identity theft claim. The credit card was opened in your son's name. It was used for over $4,000 worth of purchases tied to this address. We need to know who had access. Mom's response? There must be some mistake. We're a good family. Classic. They asked to speak with everyone in the household. Tina tried to leave mid-conversation, saying she had work. The officers asked her to stay. She cracked within 5 minutes. It wasn't even fraud. He always helps. I thought he wouldn't mind. Mom jumped in. She's under stress. She didn't mean it. But it was too late. The officer wrote everything down, recorded it, even asked to see Tina's phone. That's when it got worse. They found text messages from Tina to a friend. Use my bro's info again, spa day on him. IDC, he's such a pushover, he won't even notice. It wasn't just fraud. It was premeditated. And it was proof. That same day, I got a call from a detective assigned to the case. We have enough to move forward with charges. Would you like to proceed formally? I asked him to give me a day. That evening, my phone blew up. 27 missed calls. 41 messages. Mom. Daniel. Please. We need to talk. It was just a mistake. She panicked. She's still your sister. Dad. You don't want to destroy her life over this. Tina. You selfish guy. I'll lose my job. My apartment. You're doing this to your own family. Asterisk. Funny how no one cared when I was losing pieces of myself for them. I waited a day. Then I called the detective back. Can we pause the formal charge temporarily? He agreed. But he made it clear. This doesn't go away. It just waits. That's when Mom made her move. She called me. Voice soft, like silk over a blade. If you really want to fix things, come to the house. Let's talk face to face. Against my better judgment, I went. The second I stepped in, I regretted it. Tina was on the couch with a blanket over her like she was the victim. Mom had the worried matriarch look down to his science. Dad didn't even get up. We just want to heal, Mom said. We. I asked. We know you're hurt. But this is tearing the family apart. No. I said, Tina did that. Tina's voice cracked. I didn't think you'd actually go to the cops. Who does that? Someone who's been pushed far enough, I replied. Mom reached for my hand. Let's make this go away. We'll pay it back. You don't need the police. Funny, I said. Because you didn't offer that before they showed up. She pulled away like I slapped her. Dad finally spoke. You're not perfect either. You think this makes you some kind of hero? I looked him in the eye. No. It makes me free. And then I left. Again. This time for good. A week passed. I got another call from the detective. We received a payment for the charges. Marked anonymous, but it came from a joint account under your parents' names. Would you like to press charges anyway? I thought for a long time. Then I said, no. But then I added, not this time. But I want it on record. If she ever touches anything with my name again, I want her charged. He agreed. And I hung up. And just like that, I was done with them. No more money. No more guilt. No more walking into rooms where I was invisible until someone needed their phone bill paid. A new start. I moved out of state 2 weeks later. Small town. Quiet. Friendly landlord. Rent half what I paid back home. I spent my first weekend assembling IKEA furniture and listening to old music I hadn't played since college. I went grocery shopping and bought what I liked. I sat on my own couch with coffee and a book, and no one knocked asking for help. And for the first time in a decade, I realized I wasn't responsible for anyone but me. But here's the kicker. 3 weeks into my new life, I got a letter. Handwritten. No return address. Inside, a folded piece of paper and a check. The paper said, I don't expect you to forgive me, but thank you for doing what I never had the courage to. Luke. The check was for half the Mateo's bill. I smiled. He didn't owe me anything, but he got it. The rest of them? I never heard from them again. Not for my birthday. Not for Christmas. Not even when Dad had surgery later that year. I only found out through a distant cousin's Facebook post. And you know what? Good. They'd finally learned what it was like to live without me. And I'd finally learned to live without them. People say blood is thicker than water. They forget the second half of that quote. But it's the blood of the covenant that's thicker than the water of the womb. In other words, chosen loyalty matters more than shared DNA. And I finally learned that. The hard way. The last time I saw my family's faces was the day I left that house with the folder in my hand and the fire in my chest. Since then, not a word. And that silence? It used to feel like punishment. Now, it feels like air. A few weeks ago, I ran into someone from back home. A girl I went to high school with. She recognized me in the checkout line at the hardware store. Hey, didn't you used to be Tina's brother? I paused. Smiled. No. Just like that. No shame. No hesitation. Because I'm not Tina's brother anymore. I'm not the good son. I'm not the bank. I'm not the guy who shows up when everyone else disappears. I'm me. And for the first time in 32 years, that's enough. They thought I wouldn't survive without them. That I'd come crawling back. That I needed their version of love, their guilt trips dressed up as concern, their control disguised as closeness. They were wrong. I don't need Sunday dinners where I sit in silence while they toast themselves. I don't need check-ins that are really just setups for a request. I don't need to explain to anyone why I changed my number, moved without a forwarding address, or never showed up for Christmas. Let them wonder. Let them stew. Let them try to explain my absence to extended family, to neighbors, to themselves. Because deep down, they know. They pushed me out. And for once, I didn't beg to come back. You want to know the best part? They lost their control the second I stopped asking for love and started demanding respect. Because people like that, they'll throw family at you like a weapon. But the second you throw back boundaries, they call you cold, selfish, broken. I'm none of those things. I'm just finally not theirs anymore. And Tina? She didn't lose her job. She didn't go to jail. But you know what she did lose? Her mask. The whole family knows now. What she did. How she lied. How she used me. How she laughed behind my back while draining me dry. And now? No one trusts her. Luke left the house. Aunt Carol refuses to let her babysit anymore. Uncle Steve told me, over a quick phone call I didn't expect, that Tina's name is Mud at every family event. You don't need to come back, he said. They're the ones who messed up. We all see it now. But I told him the same thing I'll tell you. It's not about who sees it. It's about who survived it. And I did. So no, I'm not going to pretend everything's fine. I'm not going to send birthday cards or pick up out of guilt. I'm not going to show up to pretend hugs and tense potlucks just so Mom can make passive-aggressive remarks about how hard it is to keep families together these days. I'm not theirs anymore. And it's the best thing that ever happened to me. I wake up now, and there's peace. I work and keep what I earn. I eat what I want. I don't apologize for saying no. I don't flinch when my phone buzzes. I don't hold my breath around people who claim to love me. I'm free. Not because they let me go, but because I finally stopped waiting for their permission. Let them keep their leftover dinners. Let them pass around my photo like I died. Let them gossip. Let them beg, rage, twist the story, call me the villain. I'll still sleep like a baby, because the truth is simple. When they shut that door on me, I didn't lose a family. They lost me. And that's the first bill they'll never pay off.